Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second Google Hangout for retailers. My name is Austin, otherwise known as A.
Yep, and I'm Brian, otherwise known as B, and we are happy to see you at our YouTube Google Hangout. Sorry, that was our pun for the day. We're not jokers here, but we gave it our best try. But we want to dig right in and answer all the questions that have been submitted to us from retailers across the country. And Austin, if I think we just want to kick it off and maybe get into the review of the science quickly behind the BSX Insight, and then we can kind of go from there.
Yeah, perfect. Welcome. So, Brian, can you tell us a little bit more about BSX Insight, how it works, and how athletes can use it?
Absolutely. More than happy to do so. So, typically, traditionally, athletes would have to go to a sports lab, pay a few $100s to get their blood drawn. It's inconvenient. It's painful. As I mentioned, costly. Now they can go to their local shop or retailer and go in and purchase a BSX Insight, something they can do at home on their treadmill or a bicycle if it has a power meter built in it or attached to it, or on a trainer that has power, like a Wahoo Kicker or a CycleHealth PowerBeam Pro for their assessment tests. So the BSX Insight does not measure actual millimole concentrations of blood lactate. We measure relative oxygenation changes as it correlates directly with LT1 and LT2, and then we give you your power-based zones, your heart rate-based zones, or your pace-based zones, depending on what peripherals you have connected to your BSX Insight. So just taking a quick look at it, as we've mentioned before, we just have 2 rows of LED lights and a photo detector. It comes with a calf compression sleeve. It's worn on the calf. We've tested other muscle groups like the vastus lateralis and others. All the data is very similar, correlates directly. So for ease, we decided to go with the calf compression sleeve for the assessment tests, just because it's sort of more readily available. Triathletes and runners are more used to the calf compression sleeve. We understand cyclists are not as much. They want to put it in their bib, which could probably work. We haven't done that much testing against it, but instead of making a thigh sleeve for runners and triathletes, we went with the calf compression. So everything that comes with it is the BSX Insight, the base station, USB cables, quick start guides, and the calf compression sleeves of your size from extra small to extra large. So simple review: light-based device placed on the calf, smartphone application that comes with it that you can use on your smartphone, tablet, and you run your assessments from there. Enter a little bit of data about yourself. It's going to tell you what to expect from an assessment test, about a 30-minute test. And we do ask athletes to go to, not to exactly a point of failure, but to a point where they can no longer hold a 3-minute stage during that incremental ramp test. And that will give us sufficient data. As long as they get 6 or 7 stages, we're looking good at that point. And we provide them with that data within 7 to 15 seconds after the test is over. They'll have that data directly on their smartphone, as well as on a dashboard application on their PC or Mac app, and as well as on the web app on bsxinsight.com, where they've gone ahead and log in. So that's the quick version of the science. I know we've done that before on our first Hangout that we did for retailers, so I don't want to spend too much time here. I really want to focus on the retailers and how we can support them and how they can sell a lot of products and make a lot of money for themselves.
Yeah, awesome. I'm excited about it. So one thing that we showed them last time was the kind of muscle oxygenation, because that to me is kind of what sets us for wondering how does it work. So I'll pull it up, Brian, and if you want to talk us through it, then you're more than welcome to.
Yeah. Again, as we're talking about traditional blood versus the BSX Insight, you can see the bottom line on the graph that Austin has pulled up here, which was a cycling test that we performed, and we performed over 830 tests in our lab and across the state of Texas and other states, as a matter of fact. And so you can see the small red line below. That was the traditional blood method, where this athlete, you can see sort of a baseline, a small tick upwards, and then the dramatic spike upwards. Well, the blue line is our data, and again, you see sort of the flat line or the baseline stages that we get. Then we see sort of the small downward spike and then a dramatic downward turn, where we call LT2. When this data was collected, we were actually only showing the predictions for LT2, but as I mentioned earlier, we provide LT1 and LT2 as it goes forwards now. So this was a cycling example on a female cyclist who had looks like LT at about 230 watts, it looks about. So it was a good test example. And then one thing I do want to point out as well is you can see with our data, when the test ended and they left the device running, you can see the subsequent recovery period in which this athlete regained the oxygenation in their muscle belly. So as we iterate and move forward, as we're continuing our QA testing on our daily use functionality, which we hope to push very soon, it'll be a very useful tool for athletes when they want to go and do their daily workouts, whether it's running or riding. And they might have a nice warm up and then go into this hard interval set. And again, they can look at their recovery periods, what was happening as they overlaid other metrics like heart rate monitors or power meters, and you'll get a nice graph that shows what that data looked like, and then compare it. Just give you another data set to work off of, or provide your coach, or if you are a coach, analyzing your athletes' data as they train, to help them train more effectively, make them faster, and not wear them out as quickly. So it's a good example of just our blood comparison test on this particular female cyclist.
Yeah, awesome. It's always awesome to see how it really works and kind of the back end behind our product.
Yeah, so we're not just saying magically appears this number and it's kind of this guess and we're sitting here behind computers. No, there's a lot that's happening inside the device. The data is stored in here. It's processed in the cloud, sent to the smartphone, sent to the dashboard. Again, you can dock the device in a simple base station, and it uploads that data from the device as it's stored on the device. The battery here's a question that we might get asked, but the battery life, when we do go to the daily use, is about 6 hours when it's in full function, and 8 when there's some break periods there. So yeah, that's a good point. Stuff doesn't just magically appear. We're looking. This is some serious science behind this. So that's a very good point.
Yeah, nice. All right, so we'll just get right into kind of some of the retailer questions. People were wondering kind of what type of point of sales displays do we have available?
Sure.
If they want to purchase a BSX Insight, display it, get people interested and excited about our product. What type of displays do we have?
Yeah, what's going to draw the attention to the consumer to come and make that purchase? And just quickly taking one step back, we are now in a phase where we're shipping live, so we're no longer taking pre-orders and things. And you may have seen the video from Dean Maratea with Clever Training, who had done a bunch of pre-orders and actually moved that inventory prior to our sort of grand opening in quotes here. So if you place an order today, we fulfill and get that shipment out. So I'm actually going to borrow one of Eastern Shore Cycles in Daphne, Alabama. Bill, thank you for becoming a retail partner. So the packaging comes as such, and it's pretty simple. You can just slide this external sleeve off, turn the box inside out, just stuff it in like this, and then, sorry, trying to do this all on camera, fold it so that the orange piece here just kind of slides in the back, and I did it backwards. I should have put it in, then slid the box. So then now you have this display for your display case in a small form here. Working with our marketing guy, Jeremy Brown, looking at his budget and seeing what else we can do to provide retailers with that in-store POS, whether it's posters, displays, different things. We're a young company. We're about 3 months into our shipping, so we're kind of crawling before we walk, before we run. but there are plans in the works to get some bigger displays. But we did, purposely plan for the packaging to go as such. And we received tremendous compliments on our packaging itself as as it comes. And this will reflect again. It's got this leaf on it. So, but the packaging itself is it's obviously a bright orange. The white, it does draw attention. Sometimes we understand stores, display cases, or places where they need to keep their electronics isn't always at eye level. So, we want to have those bright colors that'll draw people in. And again, just, having what exactly it is. It's the world's first wearable, non-invasive lactate threshold sensor. So, we find that important that, people can see it. Another thing aside from POS is more on education, because obviously not all of your folks that are selling the devices in the store will understand what lactate threshold is, period, aside from LT1, LT2, and why it benefits the consumer coming in. So education is something that we're focusing on. Austin, who you see on the other side of the camera, is been putting together a bunch of educational materials, a video blog series so it's easy to share with your staff so that they can understand exactly what is lactate threshold, how the consumer would use it on a bike or a run test, as well as other one-pagers and things that we're working to get out to your staff so that they can understand when Brian walks into the shop and I ask about a power meter or a GPS watch and heart rate strap, I would then become the perfect target because, okay, and I mentioned this in the first Google Hangout, I bought this Timex trail runner 15 years ago, and it had a heart rate strap, and I would just go run with a heart rate, and it would always be similar numbers. I would just say, oh, I ran 5 miles in 40 minutes, and this time I did it in 39 minutes. Well, I wasn't training effectively, in actually probably hurting myself more than anything. So here you now have a gold standard tool to give them the gold standard data to train better and train more effectively so that they can take that power meter, take that heart rate monitor, GPS watch, and put it to perfect use and, train perfectly with it. So those are the sort of target consumers that come in. It's anyone with higher cycles or, our triathletes are certainly our number one consumer by far at this point. Really, really a good target for us. So I know that was kind of longer than what you wanted for just POS material, but it's all kind of tied together. So thanks for the question.
Yeah, that was good. Actually answered our kind of a next follow-up question about who the target consumer is. And you had mentioned, people that are serious about their training, so they've gone and purchased, heart rate monitors, maybe a foot pod, power meters, those type of people.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people have this assumption that it's this person that's this elite athlete, and the elite athletes have had access to lactate threshold testing in the past. It's just something again where they have to spend a lot of money to go to the sports lab and do it. The BSX Insight works for folks that are middle of the pack age groupers on up to the pointy end, and it's an effective tool. It's really not for the first person that's doing their couch to 5K, or they bought their first bike and they're going to go do the Tour de Cure for diabetes research. It's more for somebody that's training 3 to 5, maybe 4 to 6 days a week better, and they've been training for maybe 9 to 12 months. Because if we took a room of 100 people and did a blood lactate threshold test on them, well, 5 of them will still not have a response, even though they're kind of fit. So we want to make sure that the consumer that's purchasing the BSX Insight, will have that response and have the best use. So, middle of the pack age group, or somebody that's done their first or second triathlon, and they want to take up their training a little bit. And same with cycling, they want to just hone in a little bit more on their training. Especially somebody that has a coach or looking to be coached. This is a great tool for shops that have relationships with coaches, whether it's built in. Try Shop in Plano is a great example of that. As one of our retail partners who have coaches and other relationships. Try Teams, cycling teams, running teams, and things. So they're using the technology to test their athletes, and then of course sell through and provide sort of upsells within the shop where they're doing the physiology testing right in the shop. They have their trainer set up. They have a treadmill set up in the shop itself. So, the client can come in and again be upsold on the opportunity to, okay, you've gotten your bike, you've been fit, now you can do a lactate threshold test, and you provided training zones. So it's a great opportunity for another revenue stream. And then, oh, by the way, you did that with that. Well, guess what? You can have your own BSX Insight as well, right over there in our case. We'll give you a multi-sport. Boom, you've upsold another person. So that's that's kind of who the target is. We explained somebody coming in for power meters and heart rate monitors, but yeah, that's another good focus point.
Yeah, I agree. So our next question is, we're talking a lot about runners, cyclists, but there's a lot of exciting things happening at BSX that are in the pipelines as far as kind of users who can use BSX and features. What can you share with us, Brian, about what retailers and consumers can expect here in the near future?
Sure. So, with the BSX Insight, you're getting a device it's revolutionary. As cliche as that is, it's absolutely revolutionary, just like heart rate monitoring was 35 years ago. So today, I can go to your shop, buy this device, go and get what would normally cost me $150, $200 to do, get my finger stuck or my earlobe pricked, and then get my training zones and train with it. So, that use case on its own is it's never been done before. We've never had a product like this that you can do this completely non-invasively. So that on its own is just phenomenal to me, personal opinion. Secondarily to that, as I mentioned earlier, we have the team that's doing a lot of QA testing on our daily use functionality, as I mentioned, so I won't go into a lot of that. But again, you'll be able to just start and stop it with your smartphone from home, go out, do your workouts, come back, dock it, get your data that everything that you did on your workout. And then, we are working with some major manufacturers for wrist-based smart watches and others to get us real-time displays. Again, future features that we're talking about, but stuff that the retailers will be interested in, because we're not just satisfied with this one product. We sort of launched the Cadillac, then comes the Ferrari and the Lamborghini as we kind of iterate and move forward. So and that's some of the future features. I can speak on some others that I know we'd love to see in the future, but I don't want to get people's hopes up too early. But it's going to be pretty phenomenal for what Generation 2 has to offer in about a year. And it was introduced to us in our morning meeting today that there's some pretty fantastic research and development that's going on. But for the now, we have the benchmarking testing that you can do. Very shortly, you'll see the daily use functionality, which will apply across many other sports. We've got LT, protocols, ramp test protocols for cycling and running. But now we've had a lot of inquiries from folks in rowing sports or Nordic skiing and others, and so there'll be some other use cases that we can do where they'll be able to implement their own protocols and again look at the data as it's fed back. So really excited about what's coming up with the dev team and all the guys who are doing engineering. So really excited about that.
Yeah, I know I'm personally excited. I'm a soccer player, and we've had a lot of interest from soccer clubs in Europe, locally. Real Madrid, Man City. It's just cool that we're reaching a lot of people that are excited about our product. So yeah, we got a lot of exciting things coming.
I agree. It's pretty fantastic when you have NBA teams that have purchased devices. We've had professional triathletes, professional cyclists, and the amount of inbound traffic we get in terms of where can I get the device, where can I get the device, where can I find out more. Hence why we're looking to expand our retailer network so that when somebody in upstate New York says, well, where can I get it? Well, Patriot Multisport in the Capital District. Over in Florida, we've got Roman and Epic Cycles. We've got Clever Training, and in California, we've got Triathlon Lab and places. So we're looking to to expand that reach, and for those people that aren't necessarily the target consumer that would normally go into their shop. So again, some additional revenues that could come in sort of not traditionally.
Yeah, I agree. Just going to do a quick shout out to our blog. You had mentioned, we have a great resource there. If you're on our blog right now, you can go and check out kind of, more information about how someone can use it, such as how to train your lactate threshold, how to make sure you're getting the most out of your training, as well as we have, blog updates with each new release, and you will be able to see kind of how we have progressed from the beginning to where we are now. And then, as we move further, we'll be able to give you a really good idea of how to use those features, such as the daily feature. All right, so enough about that. That blog.
It's important. It's important. I think you guys do a fantastic job. Again, that just brings us back to our education piece, and it's so important. So yeah, you guys have been doing a fantastic job, yourself and Jeremy and others. Kudos to you guys.
Thank you. So we'll move on to kind of wholesale and purchasing. Hopefully at the end of this, you get a good idea of what BSX Insight is and how you can sell it. Now, kind of, if you're ready to take the next step, what kind of wholesale specials do we do? Who do we contact? Type of questions.
Yeah, great question. So we have a 5-unit minimum. It can be multi-sport, cycling, running, any combination thereof. So we do 5 as the minimum. The markup for wholesalers is 35% across the board. It's 35 points, where multi-sport will retail for $419. The wholesale is $289. Cycling $369, wholesale $255, and running $299, and I think it's $206 is the wholesale. Each of those comes with a calf compression sleeve, and we do provide additional sleeves because we know you can't guess who walks in the shop if they're extra small to extra large. So we do provide those additional sleeves, technically on consignment, and medium, sort of the one size fit most. But yeah, 5 pieces is the minimum, and we do credit card terms on the first order. We set up the account where then the retailer can go in, and then from there just reorder as they need, without intervention from myself. But I am the one guy that they will be going through for the short time being, as we look to expand our team as well. So so 5, and we get them shipped out the day after we get the order in. So that's sort of the minimum purchase, and we have our wholesale agreements in place. We have our map, all of which we can send, and I know you've put my email up so that they can contact me directly. We've attached the wholesale form to the blog that you have been sending out. So if you're all mad at us for sending out so many emails, sorry, we're just trying to do our due diligence. You can blame Austin, not me. I'll let him take the blunt of the wrath there. But no, yeah, I can get those to you as quickly as you need. So thanks.
Yeah, thanks for throwing me under the bus. So if you are interested, I put Brian's email address and name right here. He's our Director of Business Development, so reach out to him. So I think that was all the questions we had. I can't really think of anything else. If you want to, Brian, have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, that there's one last thing that I'd like to mention is that, today, and maybe we can extend it through the close of business on Monday. But if you were to buy 10 units, we would provide 1 free right now. And we do technically offer some, industry pricing for folks that need to test out. We have an easy 10%, which, $40-50 off of each unit. If they just want to buy 1 or 2, or if a staff member just wants to buy 1 or 2. Obviously, we're encouraging to buy more because we know that these devices will move from your shelves, even willing to put a guarantee on that. So aside from that, there's If you want to get a little more technical, please reach out to me, Brian at bsxathletics.com, or the phone number 281-789-8555. If you have additional questions, the best way to really dig in is through support.bsxinsight.com. It's a tremendous resource for any question you might have, been answered in depth by our president, Dustin Freckleton. So you can find a lot of your questions answered there as well, whether it pertains to the science, the functionality, what does it pair with, what doesn't it pair with. Again, we look forward to building our retailer network. If you have more specific questions for me, happy to answer them anytime. Just shoot me a note or a phone call, and we'll be ready to chat. I think that's it.
I think so.
All right.
All right. You talked about the special. We will fulfill it within a few business days, so it's not like you're waiting or anything. You basically will see your order and be like, oh, sweet, box it up that day. I think Brian's actually our lead packer, so he'll get that fulfilled for you and out the door. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Again, if you want to email Brian, here's his email address. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.